This season really was an emotional roller coaster. So, hello guys, and welcome to Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 3 review. And oh my god, this season was so good. Like, this was definitely better than Season 2 of Chaos Theory, and it was as good, if not better, than Season 1 of Chaos Theory. Like, I really loved this season. Where do we start? Well, let's talk about the bad of this season, and really there isn't much to say in the bad section. If anything, I felt that some of the episodes felt longer than they actually were, and it was because of the drama. This season really was drama heavy. Each character had plethora of emotions to express and feelings that they would let out. The tension was so thick that you just wanted it to end, but it would go on, and oh my god, if anything, this was a good thing. But if we had to say anything bad about this, it was this. And now let's get on to the good part of the season, and well, it was the entirety of the season. Like, the aspects of Dominion that it uses, they did so well. Like, for instance, the Atrociraptors and now the Pyroraptor. The build up to the Pyroraptor's reveal was so well done. Like, you could tell that that thing wasn't supposed to be in that area, and even Nuna calls it like this sort of curse. So yeah, seeing that creature in the wild, you could tell that it was out of place, that this thing is a threat to humans, and it was also killing people without hesitation. So that was really nice to see of Pyroraptor, because if you remember in Dominion, it was just there for one moment and it really didn't make sense in there. Even they make a joke about that in here, that now they go into snow. So yeah, that was the whole Pyroraptor thing. Next up, Gia and Nuna. I feel like I should apologize for thinking that they were going to be evil, because they were the sweetest and kindest people I've seen in this show. There's a moment in the second episode where we see the campers discussing the possibility of if the girlfriend is a scammer or someone that is completely a stranger or a ghost. And I like that, because these were what people were theorizing when we first heard that Ben had a girlfriend. But now we know that Gia is real. Gia was such a nice girlfriend to Ben. Like, she was a very understanding person. She would help Ben. Not only Ben, she would help all the other campers. So it was nice to see that dynamic of a girlfriend that was not part of the campers. She was definitely not part of the campers. She was someone new, but she blended in with them so well. One gripe that I had was there were just too many kisses. Like, way too many kisses. Other than that, yeah, loved it. Also, Nuna's character, I loved her. She and Kenji had a great bond. It felt like something was going nice with Kenji for the first time, because Kenji lately had a lot of bad things going in his life. So this was a nice to see Kenji enjoying his life. Now, well, let's talk about Smoothie, Bumpy's baby. Yeah, all this thing actually kind of made me teary-eyed, because, well, seeing that shot of Smoothie in Camper's hand reminded me of the shot when we first see Bumpy hatch and you see our young campers holding her. So it was just like this moment of realization that our campers have now grown up. That was a nice moment. This time around, instead of Ben taking care of the Ankylosaurus, it's Kenji who looks after this new Ankylosaurus Smoothie. So their dynamic was also a really cool touch to this season. Like, instead of Ben, it's Kenji. I like that, because Kenji is someone who has suffered enough. Now it's time we give him his flowers and he gets to enjoy his life. Kinda makes me nervous that he's gonna die, but I know the show ain't gonna do that. I'm hoping the show doesn't do that. Anyway, next thing that I want to talk about is Brooklynn. This season, it felt like her arc was sort of reminding me of Frodo from Lord of the Ring, like wearing that ring. This time it was this bionic arm, and you can really tell that she was going to the dark side. Like, her joining forces with Sayona, she was actually starting to like the way she was working. There's a point we meet this new character, Dazi, and you can tell he was telling that you're selling your soul. Brooklynn didn't believe that. She got frustrated and she had that pointer thing, and she instinctively pointed at him, letting the Atrociraptor almost attack him. She realized what she was doing, and then she freaked out. Like, what is happening to her? So it was cool to see that she was kind of getting overwhelmed by the dark side. But again, seeing the campers, she again starts to heal. Like, the better version of Brooklyn starts to appear again. I'm pretty sure now we're this close to having Darlin being canon, because they shared so many cool little moments here and there, which was really cute and awesome. So yeah, seeing them come together, it felt nice. And I feel like now we are putting an end to the Kenji and Brooklyn thing, because, well, you can tell Kenji was past it, and even they had this dialogue between Kenji and Darius where Kenji basically tells Darius, yeah, I'm done, but you shouldn't lose hope. You should keep on going for her. Try to bring her back to what she was. So yeah, Kenji has basically given up, but Darius, you can clearly tell he still believes in Brooklyn. There's a point in the season where he is kind of confused on where she actually stands, but then Brooklyn meets up with Darius and everything clears up, and they have this cool little kind of cute moment. What wasn't cute was because of Brooklyn, Sammy and Yaz have many verbal disputes. Like, Sammy felt that Brooklyn had betrayed them, and so she really didn't understand why the campers wanted to actually meet up with Brooklyn, whereas Yaz was completely on the other side. She was someone who thought that Brooklyn was actually still a good person and that she was just trying to keep the others safe. So they kept on going at it. They kept on having the verbal dispute, and by the mid-season they broke up. I did not think they were gonna do that. They broke up. I heard they were just gonna have an argument. I didn't actually think they were gonna break up. Seeing them break up here, and it wasn't even because of something one of them did, it was because of Brooklyn. So yeah, it really was kind of heart aching. Like, why are you doing this? Just stop fighting. And they actually ended up breaking up, so that they had this dinner, and oh, that was such a deafening moment, because they had just broken up while others were mending their relationships, and so it was just a quiet table. One thing I constantly kept hoping they would do was a camper having a heart-to-heart moment with Sammy or Yaz and telling them how they should not just go through with this breakup and kind of amend things back. But we don't see that in this season, and I think we may see it, and I'm hoping we see that in the next season. I'm pretty sure they will get back together, and I feel like next season we are going to explore Sammy's family issue, because Sammy says that they abandoned her, while Yaz thinks that she abandoned them. And I really want to know what her arc was, because yeah, clearly Yaz points out that being with the Umbalas, she felt at home. She felt like there was a family. I really am interested on what happened there, and I really want to see them get back together. Lastly, let's talk about Raptor Handler and her arc in this season, because that was totally unexpected. Like, she actually somewhat becomes good. I mean, clearly her raptors were being taken away from her, so she had to fight back. Sayona, on the other hand, she is punishing Raptor Handler for what she has done. So by the end of the season, we have Sayona fighting the Raptor Handler, but then Sayona sends out her raptor to attack Raptor Handler, but she holds up her own. She was just bobbing her head and then telling her not to do it, and then the other raptors comes in, and so they take the charge, and all four raptors become a complete squad again, and they are being led by Handler Lady. Sayona is left alone, but we find out that she has some tricks up her sleeve, and it's not just the raptors that are being controlled, but a Carnotaurus. Now, this isn't the Carnotaurus from Dominion, but it also has a horn broken off. But this Carnotaurus is also being controlled. We find out that there are many dinosaurs that are being controlled, which we know from Dominion. Barry mentions Owen multiple times. Like, this season was taking place within Dominion, and it was cool to see moments from Dominion happening in this season. Like, you can hear the bike in the distance. You can just, I wish we could see Owen, man. That would have been so cool. But I'm okay with it. We also see moments from the movie in the season with Sayona, so that was also nice to see that. We see the Carno fighting the Atrociraptors, and in there, the Carno kills Ghost. Ghost dies, and that caught me off guard. I was not expecting Ghost to die, because, well, we didn't know what was the fate of the Atrociraptors. We see all the Velociraptors fail to chase Owen, but this is afterwards, right? This fight takes place afterwards, and so now we know that Ghost dies. Not only that, the Raptor Handler lady tries to control the Carnotaurs and Carnotaurs eats her. Like, that was also a moment where my jaw just dropped. I was like, what? And beforehand, she actually talked for the first time. We actually hear her talk. So then immediately seeing her die was like, I did not expect that. But it was a cool moment of surprise. At the end, when all this was wrapping up, Brooklyn was gonna go again with Sayona until Darius and Yaz comes in and try to bring her back. So Sayona points her pointer at the two. Brooklyn tries to buy time for them so Barry and Ben can come in and arrest Sayona. They do that, and by the end we find out that Darius, Yaz, Ben, Brooklyn, they are heading to Biosyn, and Kenji and Sammy on their own also are heading to Biosyn because Bumpy is in the Biosyn Valley. So the final season, probably the final season, is gonna take place in the Biosyn Valley. Now we already know, we've seen the Pyroraptor, we've seen the Atrociraptor. In Biosyn Valley, I'm pretty sure we might see our campers interact with Beta and even Rexy. But there is one that I've been predicting for a long time that I'm now 100% certain will show up in the final season. And it's the one that we haven't seen from the captive card. It's the Giganotosaurus. And I hope we see it, and I hope they do it right, because they have done such a good job with the other dinosaurs from Dominion. So I'm hoping they do the Giganotosaurus right in this season. Overall, if I had to give a rating to this season, I would give it a 8.5 out of 10. Loved it, enjoyed it. So yeah guys, this wraps up today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. What did you think of this season? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below. And yeah, do the usual, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.